Hi, I'm Kelly Thomas. Welcome to Ingenious Baby. Every week I'll interview leading experts to help you help your child reach their full potential so that your child can become all that they were born to be. For the last 40 years, scientific researchers have declared Denmark the happiest on earth. Not only is it the happiest country, but also one of the smartest. Mensa ranks Denmark number 5 when it comes to the number of genius per capita. Today, we're here with Jessica Joelle Alexander, a Danish parenting expert and best-selling author of the book, The Danish Way. She's here to tell us the real secret to the Danes' happiness and how to cultivate our own happy children. So, Jessica, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Why does Denmark have the happiest children on earth?
I was reading in the newspaper that Denmark had been voted as the happiest people in the world. And at the same time, my husband was changing my daughter's language around her fear of something. This is a very Danish parenting practice. And I just thought, oh my gosh, it must be the parenting, because happy children grow up to be happy parents who raise happy children. And I felt that it had helped me so much that I knew it could help others.
From the 0 to 3, like the real early years, is there anything different that the parents do during that time frame that maybe someone else in America or other countries don't do?
Absolutely. So one of the things is they engage in a lot of free play, a lot more support between parents as well, and but definitely no overprogramming. They're not checking every milestone as much, because they want children to have self-esteem and not base it on these kind of measurements, which we sort of tend to get into that in the US sometimes, is we're very interested in, how fast our kids can do something, and we talk about it, and that kind of puts a little bit of pressure on. A lot of people are talking about hygge, but they talk about it in terms of like candles and warm tea, and for me, I don't think that that's why hygge makes you happy. So I think Danes see it as hygge is candles and tea, because they grow up with it. It's so natural. For us as non-Danes, in order to make hygge happen, it's a psychological space. So hygge is basically, you have to imagine that you enter into a psychological space with your family. In this space, you leave outside your complaining, your negativity, your work stress, anything, controversial discussions, politics. And for these moments, you are just present with the ones you love. You can focus on the food, you can talk about good memories, you can just be there with the people you love. And I know that it sounds really simple, but actually for us, it takes some awareness to make it happen, because we're so used to, a lot of families have these sort of habits where we either we're negative, or we have our phones, or we're stressed out.
Denmark is number 5 according to the number of geniuses per capita. What do you think the correlation is with, you don't have a focus on academics, or achievement, but you're the happiest? What is the relationship there?
Well, I'm actually writing a book about this right now. And I was just in Denmark. I've been all over with the schools, and it is so interesting what they're doing with education. And one of the things that they're doing is there is a huge focus on well-being. So there's a huge focus on, they call it trivelse, which means, it means well-being of the students, so social emotional skills. And in fact, they have very few national tests. But the one national test they do have that all ages take across the country is how good they feel. Do they feel seen and heard? Do they feel happy? Are they feeling bullied? So they can measure the well-being of students across schools, and they have plans of how to improve that, because they know that the better children feel, the better their self-esteem is, the better they do academically. I think it's so interesting. It's like we focus so much on academics,
right,
that we forget to also build up the self-esteem, which is different than being good at a lot of things.
I want to talk about reframing. I love that chapter too. I use it a lot with I have 2 toddlers. Obviously, get frustrated and anxious. And can you give us an example of maybe a toddler who won't want to go to bed, how you would reframe?
We call this age often the terrible twos. So that means we have this expectation that they're going to be terrible and annoying, and we kind of expect that behavior. And I always noticed in Denmark, they had a very different relationship with toddlers. It just seemed much more smooth and calm and happy. And then I realized they call the terrible twos trosalder, which means it's the boundary pushing age or the independence phase. So it's seen as a very healthy behavior. It's welcomed. It's even seen as cute. And this, when you reframe that into being something positive, you react very differently as a parent. And I think the reframing is not, obviously it's not just for children, it's also for us and how we see ourselves and how we see our lives. And we are the teachers to our children. So the more we get better at reframing, the better they are.
Absolutely, I agree. If there was one thing that you could tell an American parent to take away from the Danish style of parenting, what would it be?
Teach respect, be respectful, and you will be respected.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing all your tips, which I think are especially important for parents of young children. You set these thoughts and habits up early. It's very important.
Thanks a lot for having me.
If you know someone who would be a great fit for the show, come on over to ingeniousbaby.com and share your tips and story ideas. You are your baby's first and best teacher.